Never filmed it.
No!
I have never been in a Megazord one time in my life. Except, that's probably one of the craziest and darkest moments that Power Rangers had, I think, in the history of filming.
You talk about screaming, boy, when I was a kid, and you take the glasses off, I was like, woo!
They were like, do you want to do an episode with 10 Red Rangers? And my first thought was, 10? You start assassinating Red Rangers when I left the show? What the hell happened? It was 85 pounds, and I was mad about that. It wasn't even a warm-up. I was pushing well over 300 at the time. That boy had like 8 girls. His mojo was real. He had the drip. I was dripless.
I was dripless?
I was dripless. I was focused. My rest from one exercise was rolling to the next, and I go to failure. Failure is I can't pick it up anymore without breaking form. Smart for time. Tyrannosaurus.
Mastodon.
And what? What is up, man? Welcome back to Fanward. I don't know if you know my man here. This is CT. CT, talk to him. Who are you? What's the story? Because you got like your whole own kingdom.
Yeah.
Tell me about the kingdom.
So I am a comedian, I am a podcaster, all of those great things, acting, all of that. However, I am the greatest OG Mighty Morphin Power Ranger fan of all time. That's my claim to fame. You understand?
He rolled by that first bit like it didn't matter. He's like me in that sense. I did a couple episodes on TV. So how many followers you got?
Okay, on Facebook I have 1.4 million. On YouTube I have 360,000. On Instagram I have 309,000. And TikTok 58,000.
So if I put all mine together, I'm just cracking 1 million. He's pushing like 2.5. And he just flew right by that. Where do people find you?
So at CT is dope. You can just Google Clayton Thomas or CT, all of that stuff will pop up. You're not focusing, man. The focus.
No, the focus
is
right.
Power Rangers.
Okay, all right.
All of that stuff is great. But
so you came here. He's about to bushwhack me with something. I don't know what's up, but I had to give him a minute so y'all know where to find him. So now, other than where you froze the screen when you were looking at this, which you
not purpose.
Okay.
Happened to be an accident. It's a happy accident.
What are you about to do to me?
So this is what I wanted to do. I wanted, as you know, you and Walter are my favorite of all time, and both of you guys are my favorite for 2 different reasons. But you are the leader. You know what I mean? And I have so many amazing moments that I love about this show that are involving you that I wanted to watch my favorite moments with you.
Okay.
To see your thoughts or what was actually going on in that moment.
Okay.
So this episode is the episode, what is the title? I guess a pressing engagement, but I call it the King Sphinx episode, right? This is where you are...
The bench press record.
The bench press record. And let me tell you something. As a kid, I'm watching this and I'm like, well, let me just play it.
998, 999.
So, what number is he on?
1,002.
Once more, please, without the sub.
1,003.
Yes, Jason, you're gonna do it.
Come on, 1,004. Kid, you're almost there. 1,005.
I am so nervous. He's gonna break the record.
And Angel Grove High is gonna have a new winner. Ernie, what number, man? 1,000 and... Uh-oh. I lost count. Can you start again?
Unacceptable. So let me tell you why I picked this specific moment. This moment sets up the entire episode, right? You're trying to get the bench press record broken. Ernie loses count, which I think you're well past the record already. You get told to start over. This is why this is important. Later on in the episode, you guys are fighting King Sphinx.
Without your friends, why don't you give up?
You are fighting him solo. You've already exhausted your arms. And you have to do, this is the job of it. So now my question, and then after this, you go back and break the record. So now you've actually broke it twice because you started over to get another 1,000 reps. My thoughts, my questions, as an actor, first of all, how much weight was that as an actor, if you can even remember?
I can. So there's a lot of story to this. I've talked about this a couple times, but I haven't really done an episode on it. So it's really interesting to hear it from your perspective, because I never considered that I did it, then I fought the bad guy, then I came back and had to redo it. Instead, how I've approached it has been as such. It was 85 pounds.
Okay, nice.
It was not a lot of weight. And I was mad about that. I was like, you want me to get up here and act like pushing 85 pounds is tragic. Because this 85 pounds, it wasn't even a warm-up, right? I was pushing well over 300 at the time. And they're like, well, it's about reps, it's about this, it's okay. Nobody's gonna know, they're kids, it's gonna be a lot of weight. And I was just like, I literally took all the weight in our fake TV gym, all the weights I could find to stack them on there to make it look like as much as I possibly could. And then I had to act and pretend like it was a lot. I was not happy with this whole scenario. I felt like I was just humiliating myself. Now, what you see here is Ernie losing count, and I had to start over. What you're not seeing is where some of the other actors or extras or the director or the DP would be like, you know, this lens, this did not work. We need to change the light. Let's do this again. And then the director would be like, you know, but let's change the lens. Yeah, we need it. Let's reset this. Let's go again. And then sometimes the actors would be like, pop, blow the bubble over someone's dialogue. So we had to do it again. And then Paul would come in, and Paul would, you know, mess up on purpose, because Paul was like the best of the best on the show. And he would come in and do something, and I'd have to record it again. So when we talk about 1,000 reps, I don't know if I actually did 1,000 reps, but I can tell you in the beginning, they're spritzing me with water to make me look like I'm working hard, make it look all sweaty. By the end, I was sweating. I was like, whew, 85 pounds got real heavy real quick. So that's kind of the pre-story, but I think some of what you're talking about, you know, this kind of ties into other things that I've talked about. It doesn't matter. Some of the greatest successes in life come after some of your worst failures. And mentally, it's about, you know what? That was what it was. That's not a failure for me. That was an opportunity to learn how to be stronger and do it better. And we talked about that on some of my other videos, and that's what the character did here. He went from that competition, he was tired, he was beat, and he had to beat another bad guy, because bad guys here are like bad guys in life. They don't care what's going on in your life. They're going to do what they do, and you still have to deal with it.
Bars.
So you can't control that, but you can control how you manage it. And that's what Jason had to do here in this episode. And then he came back and he knocked it out because he was determined. He didn't lose focus. He stayed on the path, and ultimately he had the confidence that no matter what, he was going to make it happen. So I think that's kind of the moral of this story, but that's a little bit of the backstory that almost broke me with an 85-pound bench press.
This is incredible. Man, first, I'm so glad I picked it up. All right, so here, let me give you this.
God, I was so mad when that episode started. I was like, come on, man, let's just go buy some 45-pound plates. Let's just, a couple 100-pound plates, like, let's make it look like something. And they're like, no, we'll put all the 10-pound plates and the 5-pound plates and then the 2.5-pound plates on there. It's like, y'all are killing me. I got an image to keep. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, come on.
First, I want to give you props for switching from Russian to an Italian accent. You deserve that.
I have life ADD. I'm just telling you.
This is a very special Jason moment for me, episode-wise, because this is when you are revealed and return as the Gold Ranger. I'm gonna tell you why this is big to me. The way you guys left the show, we all know the story, thankfully, because you guys have been so forthcoming and honest about things behind the scenes, which we never would have known had you guys not told us. However, as a child, I believed there was a peace conference, and I was like, what? Like, no. First of all, I'm not gonna say who I want them to take, but I'm like, take somebody else, right? So for you guys to be going for this peace conference, and I'm like, all right, I guess that's that. And then we get introduced to the new three, which shout out to them, incredible people. Now you're like, all right, well, I guess that's that. I guess the peace conference isn't over. Nothing's ever going to come from that. And then one day, this happens.
Okay, bro. There's no more cover the rest of the way. You ready to make a run for it? Let's go.
And you still don't know who this is because we don't see your face at all. You're covered.
It's all these distance shots.
Yeah.
All the pyrotechnics.
Yeah. Which shout out to y'all for doing your stunts on a situation like this. This is dangerous.
Zora, this is Tommy. They spotted us.
We have to help them. Look, we're not gonna get there in time.
So many memories. Every time I see this stuff, I have different memories.
Man, listen, I'm glad to hear it because I want to hear all these memories.
I'll tell you.
I was hoping this wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Watch your back, man.
They wanted me to keep my back, do some quick spins, all the distance shots and down low, anything to hide the angle. If the key eye didn't give it away, though, a lot of people were like, when I heard the key eye, they
You
knew.
can hope.
That was Vasquez Rocks,
Where is that?
Northern California. But that scene has been in countless westerns. It's been in Star Trek. Like, that's been Another Planet. That's been in more movies and TV shows than you can shake a stick at.
We have to make a break. Now!
Tommy, just 100 yards due north and we can teleport you.
Got you, Billy.
You're doing great. Just keep coming. Come on, guys. Just a little bit farther. Just a few more feet.
Interesting enough, seeing Rocky there, Rocky was an amazing blue ranger. It was not a great red. We've talked about this in great detail, but he's a great blue.
At the last second.
Where are they? What happened to them?
I don't know. Maybe the teleportation system wasn't strong enough to bring them back. So where could they be? They had to have landed somewhere.
They're now on the planet of Klingon.
Right here, guys. Made it.
Tree of Triforia.
But where's...
Is he all right?
Guys, I'm okay. The new Gold Ranger's right here.
Woo! Woo! You talk about screaming, boy, when I was a kid. Woo! Man, that in itself, I'm talking about, I'll tell you exactly, I remember where I was. My mom had this apartment. I'm in the apartment. I'm just home from school. My mom isn't back home from work yet. I'm watching the TV. I'm watching this episode. I'm like, man, who is this Gold Ranger gonna be? And you take the glasses off. I was like, woo! And my neighbors was like, what's going on? I'm like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And man, give me the thoughts of this happening.
How old were you when that happened?
What year is this? 96?
Ish. Yeah.
If this is 96, I was 10.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's the right age. So, man, so many things behind this. First off, when they asked me to come back for this, I signed to come back for 17 episodes as a Gold Ranger, and then I also signed for the second film to come back with Kimberly in Turbo. So that happened at the same time. When they gave me the costume, they were trying me out for the costume, and I'm putting on, first they had me in white and gold, which was total head game for me.
Yeah.
Because I'd always been red. Like
Yep.
that's what Jason was, you know, he was that rock back in the day. Now they're putting me in gold and white, and I was like, wait, what? It just felt, I didn't know what to make of it. And then they put me in the gold costume. First time I came in to fit for that, they slapped me in black spandex. I was like, man, this is weird. And then out came all the gold. And I was like, I love the original 5, 6 costumes.
Yeah.
All of them, super cool. The Gold Ranger suit, that was the pimp suit in the Power
Come
Rangers.
on, man.
I'm just saying, like, it had all the Egyptian hieroglyphics and you ever see the TV show Pimp My Ride? That's what the Gold Ranger suit was. My suit got pimped.
Yeah.
So I loved the Gold Ranger suit. Like, I put that bad boy on, stood there in the mirror, I was like, yeah, woo, okay, woo, yeah. So it was dope. Then they put me in the trench coat and we went to Vasquez Rocks. I was like, hold on. Woo. You got me wearing a trench coat and a headband in the desert. Mm-hmm. And it was hot. It was hot.
Yeah.
I was like, but they don't know it's hot. I was like, but I know it's hot. I'm sweating like a holy church right now. Help me out, man. So forgive me for those of you that might have offended, but that was the feeling.
Yeah.
Right? So that was kind of crazy. And then we did all the, hide the angle and catch me from back here with the camera because they don't want to give you too much. And I thought, okay, that could be cool. And then we walked in. And when I walked into that set, I'd never been on that set.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it before.
New command center.
So I was just like, I was a little bit blown away. I was like, wow, things have changed. Because I think that was 2, 3, 4 seasons later. And which is like 10 minutes in film time on Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But, I walked in, I was like, okay, you know, and then I met Nakia and I met, I'd met Steve before, but I just thought, man, so much has changed. But it was really cool because the transformation character, Jason, was still Jason. He was still the Beast. He was still the walk softly but carry a really big damn stick.
Yeah.
He was still, the suit was crazy flashy, but he was never meant to be flashy.
Right.
So coming back in as that, now we had a role reversal. Now Tommy was the red and Jason was the 6th, and the power ship, the Gold Ranger is the most powerful Ranger they ever created in the history of Power Rangers. There's never been another one with the power of 3 Rangers at one time.
Right.
So that was kind of ridiculous. I thought that was super cool. And then all the drama that they created, you know, what was it, Touching Gold or Becoming Gold or whatever it was. And then when I came back for that, I'd just come out of the pro fight circuit. So I was jacked.
Oh, you were jacked. We're going to get to that.
All the Red Ranger episodes, I was in great shape. And they were like, no shirt, no sleeves. They had me half naked all the time. When I came back as a Gold Ranger, they're like, you got to put some clothes on. They're like, there's maybe 2 episodes where they put me in a tank top.
Yeah.
And I was just thick. And I was only 5'9", but I was like 200 pounds at 5'9". And not a shred of body fat on my body.
Man.
So they were like, you are definitely not 18 anymore. Yeah. Welcome to your manhood. Yeah. A lot of changes behind the camera, a lot of changes in front of the camera, a lot of eyes wide open. It was new firsts for me. Same with Forever Red and some of those others. It was just wow moments for me. You know what I mean? But I loved it. It was cool. I had a blast. I got to come in and play, and I got to be the pimp.
Dude.
The Pimp Ranger.
Second.
See what he's going to pull up next. Now, make sure you don't freeze that screen anywhere funky, all right? Watch this guy. He's comedians.
So, this is the final episode of Power Rangers Zeo, right? We don't know that this is the final episode. As a kid, you just think, oh, okay, maybe another episode is coming around. This specific episode, you are now realizing that the powers are damaging you as a person. You have to now transfer the powers back to the triplets, and now you get to ride up into the sunset. This is something angering me because I'm like, my guy is back and now he's leaving? First and foremost, as a kid, what I thought should have happened was Billy is like, all right, man, look, I'm kind of ready to go. Billy's gone. All right, cool. He's off at Aquitar. He's ridden into the sunset. Now you got 5 Rangers left with you as the 6th. I'm like, all right, look, man, he's here. So apparently either A, one of these other Rangers is going to go, or B, he's about to get his own spinoff and have his own series. Did not happen. You lose the powers, and now your love interest for this season. But I enjoy seeing this heart-to-heart with you and Tommy at the end of this.
Not much. Listen, Jace, I know how you feel. It's tough giving up your powers. Sure is, man. So what's the plan now?
Well, one thing's for sure, a lot more free time on my hands.
Yeah. You know, no matter what happens, man, we'll always be friends.
I know. And, things can't be all that bad.
Looking up.
You're right. Things could be a lot worse.
Later, bro.
See you, man.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
What's up? How you doing?
So my thing here is, I know you signed the contract with a 17 in the movie. Why did you not want to stay on longer? Because I know the contract, as you said, was better than before. Why were we losing Jason here?
I can't really answer what was going on with production. I can tell you they only had 17 episodes of pre-film footage with the Gold Ranger. So, and their number one mission was to use as much pre-film footage as they could to save costs while selling as many toys as possible to your mom and dad.
Yeah.
So I think part of it was probably just logistical is what they had. And I think the other part of it was, I have been told, I can't confirm, you guys do your research, I don't know. I've been told that the ratings had dipped And so that's why they brought me back.
Oh.
However, I don't know. I know the ratings went back up a bit, but I don't know what was leading into the next season. And I don't know what contracts with the other actors were already in place. So if they ran out of Gold Ranger footage and they had the other guys already signed for 20, 30, 40 other episodes, and they didn't have pre-film footage, it didn't make sense for them to do extra special filming and footage to bring back something when that just wasn't how they operated from day one.
Yeah.
So that's speculation. I challenge you. I don't know. Check it out. But I do have some beef on this. You ready?
Of course.
All right. And I've talked about this with Walter, who played Zach. Y'all know. Walter Jones, man, Zach, he was always talking to the ladies on the show. Always talking to 15, 20, I don't know how many ladies, but it was always him, like, talking to, I don't even know, Angela was one of them. Like, he had some girls, like, he had some flavor, he had some mojo, right? Where was my Joe? Billy, that boy had like 8 girls. He was always, his mojo was real.
That's true.
He had the drip, right?
Yeah.
I was dripless. What the hell happened to Jason? He didn't, Red Ranger episode?
I was dripless?
I was dripless. I didn't get no drip. I didn't have any mojo. My flavor was gone. They didn't send me any girlfriends. They're like, you're just going to be the leader. You're just in charge. Just be in charge. Just fix things when they get broke. And watch everybody else live happily ever after. I think Kimberly had Tommy.
That's a great
Like,
point.
Trini, did Trini have a boyfriend? Probably. She probably had 10. I don't remember anymore. You know what I mean?
She did. It was a guy that showed up at the juice bar. She was into him. Wow.
Trini had drip.
Yeah.
Red Ranger, I didn't get any of that. My
You
mojo.
never get. Here's the funny thing about that. Character-wise, in the 2017 movie, there was a deleted scene they showed in the trailer where Jason and Kimberly kissed. Didn't happen in the movie, though. And we were all like, oh, okay, that's interesting. We would like to see that.
I kissed Kimberly?
In the movie trailer for 2017's reboot.
Okay.
Right. So I'm like, okay, as fans, we're like,
I
okay,
forgot.
I'd like to see this. But you're
Clearly
right.
it wasn't memorable.
You never got any, but this is the first love interest that you had.
Yeah, so it was Gold Ranger, and then I get to walk off into the sunset with Emily. Emily was her name.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I can tell you behind the scenes, she was an amazing girl. She was gorgeous.
Man. Okay.
So I'm just still a little bitter. How come Billy got all the girls? Billy was bringing the heat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, him and Marvin Gaye, all on the same page. And I was over here with, like, Napoleon Dynamite. I didn't get none of that. Even Napoleon got a girl. I had to wait 87 damn episodes. What happened there? Somebody talk to me. You figure it out, let me know.
I had to wait 87 episodes.
I'm a little bit bitter. Bitter party for one.
Yo. So this happens, right? Now, you leave Power Rangers Zeo right after the finale of Zeo. What ends up happening is Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Bam. I'm in the theater once again. Okay?
Okay.
In the theater. Yo, my guy is back, right? Especially continue looking yo, because the black shirt is like, yo, first of all, before we even get into this, because I'm trying to build myself back up, what reps and what were you doing to get the physique that you had?
Bro, that was a lifetime of martial arts.
Man.
And I was like, that's like a 5-episode talk. It was drop sets, supersets, tons of martial arts. If you were spending 45 minutes in the gym and you haven't crushed your body, you're playing. Like, I can walk out of the gym in 45 minutes and I can't feel my hands and my arms. I was focused. My rest from one exercise was rolling to the next, and there was no rest. My warm-up was an hour of running. I would sprint that first mile, full-out sprint, and then the next 4 miles, where I would slow it down to a 10-minute mile, a 9-minute mile, and cruise. And then, sometimes then after that, I go do 45 minutes on the stair stepper just to finish just crushing the heart, because this muscle is what keeps us alive, right? So I crushed this one all the time. Stamina was key. And then I would go lift weights, and I would start with 75, 80 pounds, crush the curls till I couldn't do it, then grab 75s, then go to 70s, 65, 60, 5-pound increments, and I'd go to failure on every set. What is failure? Failure is I can't pick it up anymore without breaking form. And then in order to keep my form, I take my other hand, lift it up, and then negative until I couldn't do it anymore. Complete muscle failure. put it down, go to the next one, 5 pounds down, 5 pounds down, until I got to 5 pounds, and I couldn't pick that up, and then negative that till I couldn't hold it anymore. And that was, and back to back. And then I'm like, okay, biceps are shot. So then I turn around, repeat process, tricep kickbacks or pull downs or whatever I was doing. And same with deltoids. And it was always reps until absolute punishment failure. And same with legs, same with everything else.
John.
Like that was it. And then I go do martial arts. And then I go to the beach and play volleyball. Then I go to the club and dance all damn night. And then I feel guilty because I had like 4 beers and I'll be back on the treadmill at 4 a.m. after the club. You know what I mean? And I was mowing down probably 7,000 to 8,000, maybe 10,000 calories a day sometimes.
What?
I go and hit up some El Pollo Loco, 2 or 3 of those 1-pound burritos with, I never got the rice, but I get the black beans. They had sweet black beans back in the day. That was my jam. And probably not the best, but my abs had abs and I didn't care. So I was, mow down that tortilla. I was a guy on the truck where they made our food on set. I was like double breakfast, double lunch, double dinner, everything I could eat in between. I was always mowing it down. But it was a lifestyle. It was not a workout.
Hearing you, let me tell you something. This is how you know the difference when somebody's really into like, all right, bet. All right, cool. All right, tell me what you did, man. I'm about to apply. Let me tell you when I said, oh, I'm not going to do this. Let me tell you when I said, when you got to the first one and you were like, couldn't lift anymore, went to another weight. I was like, that's where I'm out of it. Right, that right there lets me know I don't really want what I say I want. That, wow. Now we're in Turbo Power Rangers movie. My guy comes back. This is a moment that we loved seeing this because this is you as a character. This is Tommy's character going all the way back from the first battle that you guys had in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers season, where now the roles have switched. But in this monologue, in this fight, Jason gets a chance to say what's really on his heart. And as a kid, I'm like, okay, I understand this. And now, I got to give credit where credit is due. A good friend of mine, Cleo Thomas. Cleo Thomas always says, we did not deserve Jason as the Red Ranger because Jason the Red Ranger did every single thing correct. And as soon as Tommy came along, everybody switched up and was like, oh, this is our guy. And it's like, no. Those of us who are real fans are like, no, Jason is still our guy. That's why to this day, that peace conference pisses me off. Anyway, here's the thing.
Jason! Oh, that's a nice trick.
That's creepy.
It is.
Just beast.
Yeah. This is her first and only return.
Yep. Creepy.
No. Look at me, Kim. Look at me. It's me. It's me, Tommy.
Yes, we're your friends.
Friends? I don't have any friends. Oh yeah, sweetie. Pink is ours.
Kill him, Richard. No, I don't want to hurt you.
Into the fire. Into the fire. Do it. Now with power will exceed from the fire.
This one is mine.
Throw him in the fire. Throw him in the fire. Yes.
I'm the one with the muscles and the power.
Yeah, that's right, Chase. But you're not using your brain power.
That's a crazy stunt.
Come on, Chase. Don't fight me. You gotta remember all the good. You got it. Come on. Come on.
I think you're gonna need this.
Yeah, thanks. Back to action.
I'll get the ingredients.
Right, let's finish up, guys.
Man, you talking about intensity.
That's probably one of the craziest and darkest moments that Power Rangers had, I think, in the history of filming. And I loved it. I had a blast. Look, bad guys get to have all the fun.
True.
Right? Now, normally I say bad guys always get the girl, but naturally, according to Jason, there was no girl for that. I didn't get a girl. Again, bitter. Table for one, please.
Yeah.
Man, there's so much to unpack on this episode.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted Jason to go dark. I wanted him, because all the Rangers have been evil before. Like, there were episodes where we all went
True.
evil for a few minutes.
Yeah.
But we came back as a team. This was a moment, they did a lot of first and onlys for Jason's character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't get any voodoo and magic from the other guys, I don't think. Maybe it happens here in a minute. But when he comes out of that volcano, he had to will through it. He had to power through it. When he came back as a Gold Ranger, he didn't get a morpher.
No.
And people ask me later, they're like, well, you know, like they'll say, well, Tommy got the Master Morpher. How come you didn't get the Master Morpher? I'm like, you know what? Jason was the Master Morpher. Period. It started there. And I think you watch Kim and you watch Jason go through these dark moments, you know, and this is what evil does, right? It twisted Jason's mind. Now I'm the one with the muscles and the power. Jason always had the muscles and the power. That was an integral part of what he was. Yep. So, you know, when you get around evil, when you get around these bad characters, that's how they can twist you. It was wild. You talk about the stunt when he gets flipped over.
Yeah.
Like that pit, I'm about to break your heart here. That pit was maybe 8 foot deep. And all they did was put some crash pads down there. Tommy kicked me in the butt. I went over, did a front flip, landed on my back. And then we came over, they turned the camera down and did special effects to make it look like a volcano. That whole set was wild though, because it was an entire warehouse that they built up, 60-foot ceilings maybe, and built up all these rocks and these tunnels, fake rock. It was plastic or styrofoam painted to look like rock. Mm-hmm. I mean, crazy. It was $12-something million film. It was just a whole nother process. That was another time when I came back, and like the submarine scene. Yeah. That was a huge outdoor water drum, maybe the size of this room, maybe 50 feet, 60 feet total circumference. Mm-hmm. And they filled it up with water and put in stuff like that. Amy ended up getting an ear infection from being in the water. We both froze our damn butts off being in there. The water was maybe 70, 80 degrees. They're like, well, that's not cold. It is when you've been in there for a minute. Right. Hypothermia. Because your core temperature is 96, 97, mm-hmm. 98, and you get in there and, well, your core temperature is not 96, but 97, 98, sometimes 99. So you get in 80-degree water and spend half the day filming, it's cold. You get cold quick. So, I mean, there was a lot of crazy stuff that I hadn't experienced on the show, and I wasn't even there for a lot of the other filming. I mean, we had the fight that took place in the boxing ring afterwards. Yes. And that was great. Are you about to pull that up? Oh, is that next? Okay. Weird. Okay. All right. A lot of memories on that film. Sidebar. At the time, I was dating one of the Texas Bikini Team girls. Oh, yeah? So I didn't have the girl on the show, but, you know, behind the scenes, I was doing all right. She turned out to be crazy. I had to dump her, just so you know.
Ah, of course. You can never find it when you want to find it. But I will tell you what I know. This right here, this is our final clip.
Oh, wait. Wasn't there another Red Ranger here on Earth?
Now, this moment for me.
How old were you over this one?
So this is I believe this is 2000, so I'm 13 I'm 12 about to be 13.
I can't remember these dates. This is impressive for me.
You know why this stands out? This is genuinely, and I'm not saying this because I watched this like when it aired, just as someone who, after this episode, I dipped out and came back around Legendary Battle time. So it's like a decade after this episode, because this was the pinnacle. This is probably the greatest episode of Power Rangers because it was so different than any other episode. This
It was
acknowledged
huge.
every other season up until that point, each leader. And when I'm watching this, I'm like, all right, cool, this is going to be great. But you're sitting there wondering, like, man, where's my guy, right? And lo and behold,
I was hoping he'd show up. But I guess he couldn't make it. We'll have to go on without him.
still yoked.
Now it's jacked.
Look at this.
Jason, that's what I'm gonna
Woo! You guys weren't gonna do. Let me tell you about entrances, okay? I'm a fan of showmanship. When I see that, dude, this episode was the greatest episode of Power Rangers. It felt like it was an hour because of how much you guys are able to cram into this 30-minute episode, but it was just super short. Please tell me how this felt and what was the story behind getting you here.
So I was in the fire department on the East Coast at the time. I was running EMS, but we were fire and EMS combined. I'm not going to dive into that, but anyway, I was running 911. And I don't remember if they called or emailed me, but long story short, they're like, hey man, do you want to, in fact, it had to have been a phone call because the conversation. They were like, do you want to do an episode with 10 Red Rangers? And my first thought was, 10? Did you start assassinating Red Rangers when I left the show? Like, what in the hell happened? Something changed in the secret sauce. Like 10 Red Rangers. I know I did 86 just as Red. Like, how many have they done since I've been gone? Because I was thinking they were all filming the same. So I was like, there's got to be 1,000 plus. I couldn't wrap my mind around 10 Red Rangers. And they're like, yeah, there's been 10. Actually, there's been 11. But, we'd like you to come back with 10. I was like, okay, all right. Well, what's going to happen? Talk to me. And they're like, well, there's going to be a big battle. You're all going to combine. It's going to be the only Red Ranger episode we've ever filmed. And you're all going to go fight evil and save the day. I was like, oh, okay. That could be cool. So I had to go to my chief. I was like, hey, man, you mind if I get a little time off? Why? And they all knew I was a Red Ranger. And they're like, well, what's up? And I was like, well, I kind of need to go back to LA and film a few things. They're like, wait. You want to dip out of 911 to go back and do famous stuff? That's not the word they used. I was like, well, yeah, it did take me a couple days, 3-4 days. And so I traded some shifts and I was off. And I was volunteer at that point. So it wasn't work. I was volunteering. So I traded my shifts, got them covered. And I went out to LA and I was there maybe 3 or 4 days tops. And we filmed at an old power plant where you watch the fight when we take off the jacket and we start the fight scenes. And I remember the stunt guys, they're like, hey man, can you still do it? I was like, hold on. Took off the coat and I was like, let's roll. And choreographed that fight too. And there was talk, I heard after I got there about it maybe being 2 episodes or how it was gonna be 2 episodes. And then I heard talk about how it should have been a movie.
Yes.
And I think to this day, if you want to do something that's going to rock the Power Rangers verse, you redo Forever Red as a movie.
Yes.
You will unstop the world. You will brain lock people all over the planet.
Yes.
And we'd have to pay homage to Tommy now because he's gone. But man, you redo that episode and it's going to be ridiculous. So that was a ton of fun. I got to come out. I got to re-choreograph my fights. One of my favorite photos I've ever taken with a cast is a Forever Red photo. And sidebar.
Yeah.
I got beef. Dan Southworth. Okay. Quantum Red.
Yep.
I got beef, bro. On that show, I loved that Converse shirt. I love that shirt. I wanted to take it home. They wouldn't let me take it home. I found out years later, Dan Southworth went and bought that damn shirt and wore it to death, and now he doesn't even know where it is. Beef, Dan. Beef.
That's good beef.
I got like a whole cow worth of beef on that one. So anyway, it's just a little bitter. I love you, Dan. Barely. So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there was a lot of cool. And then when we're walking away into the sunset, that was just kind of an ad-lib moment where we all just started talking trash. And that was kind of fun, because it was the one time I got to be like, man, I did all the work while Kimberly was kissing on, while Tommy was kissing on Kimberly at the juice bar, and they left it. I was like, they left that spot. That was so cool. I was so happy about that. And we had a good time, man. It was great. I got to meet the guys who came and are part of continuing that legacy for a ton of other episodes. And I got to see how they brought their own mojo to their Red Ranger. And I thought, man, that was at Universal Studios when we blew up the charts.
Woo.
I knew we had a big show.
Yeah.
But when I came back for Forever Red in 2000, that was when I was like, I cannot believe this is still going. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around it. And sometimes I do that now, because now when I walk into Power Morphicon, or when I walk into other Comic Cons, I see all these other Rangers, and I'm like, you know what? If we had screwed up our job and that season had never been picked up,
This wouldn't be possible.
this wouldn't be here.
Let me tell you this, man. I want to give you your credit. Everything that you just said, yes, and because if you look at every Ranger team afterwards, it was all because of the foundation that you guys made and how you were as a Red Ranger and how you were as the leader that shaped how every other team had their leaders and how they carried their teams. So when you see from the very beginning and you go forward, you see a little bit of Jason in every single Red Ranger character on how to lead the Rangers. It's because of how you chose to play that character. But we're not done. I got to collapse this with this that also brought me back to a season.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Who was that? Billy Mays? OxyClean? I think it was Billy Mays. Oh no. Okay.
All right. So this
You're Goldar Maximus, huh?
now, and I think this is what year is this? 2020?
This is like four or 5 years ago.
Right? So I see the trailer for this, and I'm like, yo, because I'm out by now. I've aged out. I'm no longer their target audience, and I have this bit that I say on stage. I say, listen, I'm a fan of the OG Power Rangers. The Power Rangers originally.
You talk about this in your stuff?
This part that I'm about to tell you. I'm like, look, man, the OG Power Rangers only morphed when they had to. They were fighting until they broke their leg and still be like, it's morphin' time. You understand? These new Rangers are kind of soft because they just morph at anything. They're like, oh, a bug. It's morphin' time. Like, that's not how I grew up watching. So I'm out, right? You pull me back in with this.
I hope you're a lot tougher than the last one we defeated.
Oh, I am! And I brought an army, too!
Army? That's not an army.
Huh? A power coin?
This is so fire.
What is that?
Come on, man.
Now this is an army.
Now, before this happens, I'm going to tell you why this is ultra dope for this episode. As you see, you call back the original Mighty Morphin, Dino Rangers, and then Dino Thunder comes out on the left. Dino is the theme behind this episode. And the fact that you've just shown that you are connected to other Dino Rangers just by throwing the coin in the air. I'm just telling you as 30-something-year-old man, this is crazy. All right.
It won't be when we're done, Jason!
It's more good time. To the swords.
Woo!
Pyrotechnics!
The best. Now,
Meanwhile, the villains all had time to go out and get hot. They're like, hey, we're going to get lunch. When y'all done morphing, let me know. Lunch, maybe a martini. You know what? We just come back tomorrow.
yeah,
Let us know.
a lot of posing and morphing going on.
You know, but that was the beauty.
So how you've already answered how it felt to be back. But now, after getting a chance to look at how the episode came out, the fan reaction, do you now know, man, I'm glad that I did this for the fans?
I've always been glad I did that for the fans, but I'll tell you, when I came home from overseas in 2014, and I got to see you guys now that you grew up, that's really, like, I love the show. There was some bitter stuff, like any job. There's good stuff, bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was for me. But when I got to come back and see you guys grown up, and I got to look in your eyes, and I got to see that light turn on when the inner 5-year-old, the inner 10-year-old or 15-year-old, or wherever you were at that moment in life getting that impact, that's when I was just like, I'm proud of this. Man. 33 years later, we're still bringing families together. Guys your age, with your baby, I don't know if you have.
Kids.
No kids, not yet. Be careful. They sneak up on you.
Let's sneak up on you.
So when I have people your age bringing in their babies, 5-year-old to 18-year-old, that are like, no. Sometimes I don't know who to talk to.
Yeah.
The gray hair, y'all's parents, you guys, or the babies.
Yep.
I'm like, holy, wow. And it's still all over the internet, and it's still all over TV. Now Disney's got the reboot.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I will forever be proud of. And this is one of the rare occasions where I'll speak for the other Rangers when I'm pretty sure they feel the same way. Man, this is big.
Dude.
But, talking about being connected to the other Dino Rangers, this is kind of why I come back to Jason is the Master Morpher. And I love, he and Tommy, I think, are the two characters that they really could just go off script and never needed to explain it.
Yes.
This is just what it is. These are the two guys. This is Batman and Superman, and they're just going to do what they do. And we don't have to talk about it. And people just accept it. And this is one of those episodes that was kind of one of those big moments. I loved it.
I will tell you, man, first, bottom of my heart, thank you for watching these with me. A lot of the moments that I showed you are life moments for me, man. Like watching the show, I wouldn't even want to be in entertainment. I would not even want to live in California had it not been for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Saved by the Bell. But that's so seeing these moments,
Moon Fry.
Seeing these Jason moments with Jason, the legendary Austin St. John, is a life moment. I appreciate your time, and thank you for watching it with me, man.
Man, I love this, and I love that everybody has these moments in their own lives, and that's part of why I'm back out on the road. I love hearing these stories. If you like this story, comment below. If you got questions, comment below. Check out my man CT, because he's got his own kingdom. Check him out.
Thanks. Man, that's crazy. Oh, man. Oh, my God.
So we start with the hand behind the back, and then we'll do the morph. And then I can break it down. I can break down a little bit about it, because I don't think he knows the story behind the morph.
I don't.
There's a whole lot of story, but I'll just give you part of the story.
Go.
All right, ready?
All right.
So on 3. Smorph for time! Tyrannosaurus!
I gotta, see, that's the thing. I was gonna be Tyrannosaurus, but you're a Tyrannosaurus, so I can't, so I gotta be...
Pterodactyl!
I'll be Black Ranger. All right. So we're doing bam, bam. Oh, wait, do your hand again?
Yep. Because that's where you
underneath, you would hold the joint up top. All right, bam.
It wasn't a joint.
Cool. No, the joint.
See?
The morpher joint. Yes, bam. All right, cool.
Look, sometimes it just makes life better. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right. Smorph for time! Tyrannosaurus!
Mastodon!
And what? So, little sidebar.
Yep.
So, you ever see the other morph where I come in and it's here?
Of course.
Okay. So that's based on an old martial arts move. Block, parry, slip, and then instead of double strike, block, strike, I just turned it into the morph. And that's all it was. Boom. Body turn. Kind of crazy.
Give me this, because this is a question.
Riddle me this, Batman.
You want to hear an awkward scenario? I'm going to give you 2 awkward scenarios. This is a Power Morphicon. I can't remember which year. It might have been 14 or 16. So I'm moderating, and and the Forever Red panel is about to happen. I see Steve, and I'm so awkward with Steve. He's a great guy. I'm just like,
Yeah, he's a
hey,
good guy.
man, why ain't you going out for the Forever Red panel? He was like, because I wasn't in that episode. And I was like, yeah, you weren't, my bad. That was one just super awkward. The second, it was like, why didn't I think before I said something? The second was I asked Steve, I had so many awkward moments with Steve. I asked Steve, I said, hey man, where were y'all? Where did you guys shoot the Thunder Megazord, I guess you could say wraparounds and everything? He was like, I don't know. And I was like, that's right, because Austin did it, and then you got it. So I finally get to ask you, where did you guys shoot the Thunder Megazord inside the Megazord sequence?
I'm about to break your heart.
Please don't you tell me this!
Never filmed it.
No! How is this possible?
I have never been in a Megazord one time in my life. All of that was pre-filmed Japanese footage, except for maybe the films where I think they filmed some of that somewhere else, but I have never set foot in a Zord in my life.
Man, I knew the Japanese one for Mighty Morphin. I was like, yeah. But not even the Thunder, because this is why I say it. The Thunder, if you look at any old episode, you see the Thunder Megazord, you see Red Ranger, he looks your size, like he's got the muscle build. He's not the thin Japanese dude. Oh, who's that guy?
I don't know. That could have been a Japanese guy, could have been stunt guys with... I have no idea.
Man, that did break my heart. Man, I was thinking this was you the whole time.
No. That is a good way to identify it was me in the suit.
Yeah.
Because you could tell when I was in the suit, I had 30-inch quads, but not for that one.
Man,